Post there. There. All right, so we're just missing Mariah. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, come on. I thought 8th period we were like getting better at this. It must have been not the blue group. You guys have some competition then within your own class. You got to improve on that. We'll try once more. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. That's pretty good. You were a little early. Okay. You don't want to over-anticipate it, right? Because you've got other voices to join in. Right? So typically, as soon as I end, then you inhale and then speak, right? Okay. Takes practice. It does. All right, we'll get there. Anyways, super simple, straightforward day. Today, we're going to review the answers from yesterday's exercises. I've got a quizzes for you on those very concepts, all those inverse, converse, contrapositive terms from yesterday. And then you'll have the rest of the class day to work on this week's homework exercises, which I know are rather lengthy. So I'm giving you plenty of time to do it here in class, all right? So then without further ado, take out your work from yesterday from the law of contrapositive. Let's change things up. Let's use a blue laser. Why not? Here we go. Number 1, we had if P then Q, P, therefore Q, that is modus ponens, MP, right there. Perfect example. And number 3 is a perfect example of modus tollens. We had if P then R, not R, therefore not P. Number 5, despite the extra negations going on here, it is still modus ponens. As long as these match up, you're A-OK for MP. And number 7, similarly, this is still modus tollens. Even though this P is negated, that's OK. Starts negated, so we conclude the opposite. Remember, you like negate the negation, and then it turns into the regular version. Number 9, however, said if P then Q, not P, therefore not Q. What? You can't do that. That is no valid conclusion there. You negated the hypothesis, not the conclusion. My goodness. Sloppy, sloppy. Number 11 sets up if S then P, if R then P, therefore if S then R. No valid conclusion there either. You have duplicated the conclusions on these. You're trying to create a law of syllogism here, but you have to match across. One hypothesis matches the conclusion, not both conclusions match. That doesn't do anything for us. Any questions on the first page? All right. Page 2. Number 13 said, if P then Q, if Q then S, if S then T, therefore if P then T. That's a double case of law of syllogism. You can go in any order you want. You can combine the first two and then combine that with the third one, or you could combine 2 and 3 to get if Q then T, and then combine with P then Q then Q then T, and then get P to T, whichever way you want to phrase it around. It's still a double law of syllogism. 15, not Q, therefore not R, Q. Okay, well, just negating the hypothesis, again, that does nothing. That is no valid conclusion. You either restate the hypothesis or you negate the conclusion. 17, if R then S, therefore not S then R, that is not a valid conclusion. It is almost but not quite law of contrapositive. You've reversed the order, but they only negated the hypothesis there. They didn't negate the conclusion part. You got to do both. 19. If R then P, if T then not R, therefore R then T. They're trying to do some kind of hybrid of law of syllogism, law of contrapositive here, but it did not work out. No valid conclusion there on 19. 21, though, this does work out. If P, then Q. If not R, then not Q. This can use law of contrapositive, would switch the, it would switch this one here, would become if Q, then R, right? You reverse the order and switch the negations. And now these two can combine with law of syllogism because they match the Q's there, go from if P, then R. That one does work. And then finally, 23, R. If R, then whole thing if P, then T. Therefore, if P, then T. Right? Just like algebraic expressions inside parentheses, you group them together, treat them as one whole object. You can do that here. This is kind of like a compound conditional, as it were, but it works just the same. It says conclude all this. We did. I don't care what's inside it, what it looks like. Still modus ponens. All right, 25 then is the Venn diagram. Here is one option of a statement you could make. If a figure or an object or something, whatever noun you want to use there, is a triangle, then it is a polygon. Or you could have the contrapositive, of course. If it is not a polygon, then it is not a triangle. Then last one here, 27, showing that modus ponens and law of contrapositive together is the same as modus tollens. I have it here as full-on symbolic logic arguments. You could write these out with more words if you so choose. But the idea is that we've got the same premises here, both sides starting with if A then B, not B. But over here I've used law of contrapositive to reverse and negate the original conditional to not B that implies not A, and conclude not A from modus ponens. Right? You can see that this guy immediately matches that and flows there. Whereas over here, from these two, I just conclude not A by way of modus tollens. So it is kind of a shortcut of the two. But because I start with the same premises and I end with these same conclusions, these two arguments are logically equivalent. As long as you started in the same place and you end in the same place, it does not matter how you got there. Right. Questions on page 2? Any questions at all before we begin the quizzes? Last chance. All right. So far today, it's been kind of a tough one. Let's see what you guys can do. Restore Chrome. Conditionals, converse, inverse, and contrapositive, all there together. You're going to have to define them, identify them from symbols and from written statements. All together. All right, so a little bit of everything. You can, of course, use your notes. There are 14 questions. Go to joinmyquiz.com. Use the code 203759. Once again, joinmyquiz.com 203759. I'll give you one more minute here. And that's 7, we're all in. All right, here we go. Please do the best that you can do now, if necessary. The retake code will be posted and available at the end of class at 2:30. We got plenty of time. Take it slow. When you are finished, go ahead and work on this week's homework exercises. And once you have completed this quizzes, you can just turn in the post on Classroom. That's fine. There's nothing additional you need to do or attach to that.